Exaltation, Mula Trikona, and own sign dignity are all strong dignities, but they express their strength differently. The difference comes down to three factors: control, autonomy, and performance. So let's start with the exaltation dignity. In exaltation, a planet performs at its best, right? The exaltation sign is what really helps a planet to achieve peak performance. However, this also means that the planet needs the support of another sign to really shine, okay? And so a planet in exaltation actually has less control and autonomy than the other two dignities, and yet he is the most efficient and optimized. And so we can compare a planet in exaltation to a VIP guest in a 5-star hotel. Right? In a hotel, the, let's say, celebrity gets VIP treatment, but at the same time it must also adhere to the hotel's rules, right? So imagine that celebrity is like a world-famous concert pianist, and that person stays at a luxury hotel for a special performance, and so everything is going to be arranged for this person by the hotel management, right? The suite is going to be perfectly prepared. The grand piano in the hall is perfectly tuned. The hotel staff caters to every of his needs. And so he gets the perfect support for his stay in the hotel. And the arrangements for his live performance are all also made exceptionally well. And that's why he can perform at a peak level, because the environment is optimized for his needs. But he still needs to follow the hotel's rules and the hotel's organization, right? He can't just decide to change the schedule or to rearrange the stage setup. In fact, he doesn't need to do this because everything is perfectly taken care of by the hotel management. In fact, if he had to arrange everything by himself, it would certainly be less grandiose and special. And that is the reason that exalted planets need a different environment than their own, because it maximizes their performance. And so easily we can get complacent when life is great, and that would be more like the own sign dignity. Or we might even operate on a highly efficient level, but then we don't have that extra support that pushes us to reach our peak level, which is that of Mula Trikona. When we use the example of the piano player, when he's in his own house, of course he can be highly skilled. He can play whatever he wants, whenever he wants. He doesn't have the pressure of becoming the best player, right? He is playing at the comfort of his house, nor does he actually want to become the best player. He is just perfectly, confidently, and securely situated as a skilled piano player at home. And the own sign dignity really gives more balance in harmony to a planet, right? It is not as raw and focused like the Mula Trikona planet, nor does it strive for perfection like the exaltation planet. And so the Mula Trikona and exaltation dignities are on another level because they really strive for the highest success. And so just like enemy dignity is bad, but then exaltation is really bad, similarly own sign dignity is good, but Mula Trikona and exaltation is really good, right? When planets are in those dignities, they really shine in what they do and are able to operate at the highest level. In fact, they even have a sense of pride about how excellent that they can perform. In own sign planets, they don't feel like that. They don't push themselves to the point of having to fully master their craft, right? They are happy doing a great job, but it doesn't have to be anything special or something that would really separate them from the rest. And so what is now the difference between an exaltation and a Mula Trikona planet? Because after all, they both deliver excellent results. So now let's talk about the Muller Trikona dignity. Muller Trikona has absolute control and autonomy, and that distinguishes it from the other two dignities. In exaltation sign, a planet depends on another sign to perform at its highest level, and in own sign, the planet actually voluntarily gives up some of its control for the sake of ease and comfort. But the Muller Trikona planet has this raw power to control a highly efficient execution. And so we can compare a planet in Muller Trikona to a CEO who is working in his company in the headquarters. And the CEO has the most power, he is the top authority, and he has full access to all the resources necessary to run the company exactly as he envisions. However, he of course needs to focus on business, right? He can't just order a couch and put it in his office and watch TV all day. That might be more like a planet in own sign dignity, although of course they are also not going to take it easy all day, but they are certainly more adaptable and relaxed. They surely function on a high level, but the energy is just not as focused as that of the Muller Trikona planet. The own sign dignity gives strength and wisdom and is a powerful planet, just like the other higher dignities, but they are just more adaptable and relaxed, and they don't have the drive to become the best in what they do. Okay, they can still become very successful and recognized, just like here as a piano planet. And we can compare the own sign dignity to the homeowner in their own house. Right? They have the full control over their environment. The environment is strong, is stable, it is self-sufficient. But then that home environment, it also creates a certain comfort that makes them less ambitious, less disciplined compared to a planet in Muller Trikona or exaltation. In Muller Trikona, a planet is in its own sign and directly connected to the source of its power. And so it has full control, full autonomy, and therefore can achieve at the highest level of performance, because he is in his original and pure state. But then, even greater than that is when a planet is able to achieve that same level of proficiency somewhere else, right? In an environment that is not its own. And this is exactly what happens in exaltation. And this is really the sign of a true master, right? He can perform with excellence anywhere. He is not bound to his own familiar environment, right? He can shine just as much as a planet in Muller Trikona dignity, with the difference that he can do so in a different environment. The exaltation sign, of course, is not his own, and so he needs to adapt and cooperate. But that is what exactly brings out the best of him, right? As he blends into the new environment and integrates the elements of that new environment, he can shine even more. He can shine with more versatility, he has a greater impact, and ultimately reaches a more complete and perfect state. And so it's really in its exaltation sign that a planet perfectly harmonizes with a different environment than his own, and thereby becomes complete in its expression. For an exalted planet, it's really not even just about peak performance, as it is for the Muller Trikona planet. The exalted planet loves to adapt and cooperate, and thereby is able to reach a level of mastery that is unmatched and perfect.